Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Arizona Adventure Park. We are in our second to last episode on the Indonesian Islands. In the last episode, we built this habitat for the Komodo dragons, and in today's episode, we are going to build a cojoined habitat for the Malayan Tapir and for the Proboscis Monkeys. So it's all about big noses in today's episode. So, after we are going through the bushes and all the trees, we are going to have a look where the whole habitat is going to take place. And as I said in the last episode, I was thinking about connecting two of the bigger habitats on the north side of the Sumatran island, of the Indonesian island, because I found that the habitats both of them would be too small for the animals that I was going to put in here. So I thought it would be nicer if I connect them and give that animals a big habitat. In the end, when I was building the whole thing, I was thinking that maybe it would have been okay if it was just one habitat for one species, because the habitats looked a lot smaller than they were in reality. But with that being said, it is also okay that the animals do now have a really, really big and nice habitat to join together. First of all, I had to close up the waterfront. Is that a word? I know I'm asking that the whole time because I'm not that sure and not that fond of the English language that I know everything, and I know a lot of words and I sometimes don't know what the words mean. So I had to close up the river on the left and on the right side. Because, as you know, Malayan tapirs do really like to swim, and so do the proboscis monkeys, what is very unusual for monkeys, because most of them can't swim. As we're talking about monkeys that can't swim, there is an example of a very, very sad thing that occurred in Zoo Leipzig last week, where one of their chimpanzees drowned in the water close to the habitat, because there was a fight occurring between the chimpanzees, and one of them wanted to run away and ran towards the water, fell into the water, and chimpanzees can't swim the slightest bit, and so it was already too late for the keepers to rescue the chimpanzee. And so it occurred that the chimpanzee drowned in the water because, as I said, they can't swim the slightest bit, and so if they fall into the water, they sink like a stone. That is very, very, very sad. And that is also something that happened in Zoo Munich a few years ago with another chimpanzee. And that is why Munich changed the habitat of the chimpanzees, so that there was no longer a water barrier where the apes could fall in and drown in there. So there's now a huge dry mold and a glass barrier in front of that. So which benefits the chimpanzees as well, because the habitat is quite a little bit bigger now than it was before, because for sure they couldn't use the water, and now they can use the dry mold and come closer to the visitors. So less danger for the apes, and also a bigger habitat for them. So benefits for all, I would say. Yeah, so for that, it is very unusual that you have monkeys that are able to swim. I think I'm not quite sure. Maybe one of you can teach me some things. I'm not quite sure, but I think the proboscis monkey is the only monkey that can swim and does swim. Yeah, the proboscis monkey is also very, very rare in zoos in the Western world. A few years ago, we had some of them in the Netherlands, in the park Appenheul. Yeah, which you might notice when you look at the word Appenheul. Appenheul is a park that almost has only monkeys in there, with a lot of habitats, with a lot of walk-through habitats as well, with huge habitats for the animals. And it's a really, really great park, and as I said, specialized on keeping primates and monkeys and all of them. They have a huge variety of monkeys and apes. I think they have, yeah, they have all of the primates, including some gibbons. They have the gorilla, the chimpanzees, the bonobos, and they also do have the orangutan. And coming back to what I was going to say is that they also had some proboscis monkeys a few years ago. I think it were 5. They got them from Singapore Zoo, I think. But proboscis monkeys are very, very sensitive animals, and also some food specialists. So they only feed from leaves and stuff like that, and that makes them very, very difficult to keep. Yeah, and that also showed once again in Appenheul that it was very difficult and almost impossible, because not even Appenheul, which are specialists in keeping monkeys and taking care of them, couldn't take care in a proper way. Yeah, that sounds bad when I'm saying that. They couldn't succeed by keeping those. And so it turned out that the last one, or the last 2 of them that were left after the others have died, were brought back to Singapore, I guess. So there's no more proboscis monkeys in Europe, and I also think there is none of them in the US anymore. I think the last place where they were kept was in New York, in the Bronx Zoo, not in San Diego, because most of the very rare animals are being kept in San Diego Zoo, but not in that case. They were kept in the Bronx Zoo with a nice indoor habitat in the Asian area. But not anymore. So I think there's no proboscis monkey kept in captivity in the Western world anymore. And the last ones might have been the ones in the Netherlands. Yeah, that is very sad, because the proboscis monkeys are very interesting animals, as you can see in Planet Zoo as well, with their big, unusual nose. There's no monkey that you could compare with them, so they are very, very unique animals. And as I said, it's very sad that it is not possible, or that many of you guys and me as well might never see them in real life anywhere again. But you never know what the future holds, and where we might go sometime, and maybe we're going to visit Asia or Singapore, and especially sometime, and then we will have a look at it. Yeah, and with that being said, visiting Singapore and having a look at them, and going through to the zoo there, you might have noticed that I'm doing zoo tours on my channels as well. So the second of my zoo tours is on my channel right now. That was published on Friday. Yeah, it was on Friday. I have visited the zoo in Nuremberg. Was a very great day. I had seen many animals, many rare animals as well, and so if you want to check that out, even though it is in German language, you are very welcome to just check out my channel, and you will find it there alongside the video of the zoo Augsburg, where I did the first tour. There's also going to be some tours in the close future for the zoo in Munich, which I'm going to visit next on September 26th. And then on October 1st, we are going to the USA for 2.5 weeks, and I'm also going to visit some zoos there. Planned right now is the Miami Metro Zoo and also the Lorry Park Zoo in Tampa. So there's also going to be some video footage of those zoos in the next months. Yeah, so going back into the game, the habitat we are building for the proboscis monkey is also being shared with the Malayan tapir. A Malayan tapir is also a very interesting animal. Sorry. Yeah, the Malayan tapir is also a very interesting animal. Also a little more rare these days. I saw them in Nuremberg. There's also footage of them. The interesting thing is when you look at animals like rhinos and elephants, for example, you can find different rhino species in Africa with the white and black rhino, and you can also find different elephant species in Asia and Africa. That is I think I made a little mistake. You can find different rhino species in Africa and Asia. In Africa, you have the white and the black rhino. In Asia, you have the Java rhino, the Sumatran rhino, and the Indian rhino. That's what it's called. And you have also different elephant species in Africa and India. Which is going to be the Indian elephant and the African elephant, of course. With the tapir, it is something little different because there is only one tapir species in Asia, which is the Malayan tapir. And the other tapir species that are out there, the Baird's tapir and I don't know the English name of the other tapir. Which is it the lowland tapir? Because in Germany it's called Flachland tapir, which would mean lowland tapir, and also the mountain tapir. And those three other species are at home in South America. So there's no connection between Asia and Africa like for usual with those animals. So you can see that Asia, South America, even Australia and Africa all were connected in the past million years. So that animals made their way through all of these different continents, and it's funny to me that we don't have any African tapirs, but you know what I mean. It's some kind of fascinating to me. Yeah, so as I'm talking a lot of weird stuff right now, I think so. Maybe we should better go back into the building of this big habitat. You can see that I did a lot with the faux rock trees again because I wanted to look the whole area to be very cohesive and look alike. I had a little problem with the sunshades that I was placing here. This one, especially the second one that I was placing right now, has to go later on because we will see it after I finish the habitat and we will have a look at the animals. We will see that the proboscis monkeys were able to escape the habitat, which was a little bit weird to me, which is always a little bit weird to me, because you might think when you have a glass wall in front of the habitat and you also do have the faux rock trees which are rock and the animals usually can't climb, that it wouldn't be possible for the animals to escape there and climb up. But yeah, in the end it turned out they were able to, somehow they were able to climb on the sunshades and climb down towards the visitors and walk around the zoo. So usually I wouldn't have a problem with that because we have this closed up island here with the Indonesian area, and it would be a nice feature when you have animals like the proboscis monkey walking around between our visitors. But unfortunately the proboscis monkey is not a walkthrough animal, so yeah, it would scare our visitors and they would run away, and yeah, we don't want that to happen. So that's why I deleted the sunshade, because I couldn't find a possible way to make it work with the sunshade there, and I didn't want it to change by using some metal or stone pieces to make the sunshade, because it would look very weird as I'm using the sunshades all around the island and having something different here for the proboscis monkey that wouldn't sit right with me. So I just decided to delete it afterwards, and yeah, I did that off cam. So don't wonder when you're looking at the next video. Yeah, the last video that we are going to have here on the Indonesian islands, and you don't see the sunshade there anymore. Maybe I will come up with something else or something different. I just don't know. I will see what the next build will hold in store. So here once again I was going the extra mile and built some custom climbing structures for the monkeys. The idea was that I wanted the proboscis monkeys more on the right side of the habitat and the tapirs more on the left side of the habitat, so that they are able to cross paths, but yeah, but they would not share the habitat the whole time together, so that you have some separated interactions between those two animals, but that they are not coming together all the time. Yeah, which is something that you will see a lot of times in zoos as well. With many habitats that the animals can join together, zoos will always look at it that that the animals can join the habitat together, but they would not be forced to join it together. Which means that the majority of the habitat, all of the animals are able to use, but there's also going to be some separate areas which only one of the species in the habitat can use. So I've seen something like that in Nuremberg last week when I've been there. For example, there was a habitat that the gorillas could share with some other monkeys, And as you know, gorillas aren't those good and perfect climbers. So in the habitat there were some climbing structures, some ropes and stuff like that, which the gorillas couldn't use. So if the other monkeys were sick of the gorillas or needed some time alone or run away from the gorillas, they could climb up the trees and away on the ropes. So that is something that you're going to see a lot of times when you look at habitats that do house more than one animal. Yeah, so here I was planting a lot of trees and bushes and shrubbery around there. And with those faux rock tree stumps that I put in the habitat, and also in the middle of the habitat, I wanted to have something like different views for our guests that visit our park. So it is always nice when you have a different view from or different angle when you look into a habitat and can explore some new things and can see the whole habitat from one part of the viewing area alone, so that you have to explore the whole area and yeah, have different views in there. Yeah, so we are almost finished with this area. In the next video I'm going to build the last habitat on the Indonesian islands, which I think right now is going to be for the Malayan sun bear. Because like I said in the last episode, or in the episode before as well, we don't have any bears in our zoo. And so I think before we end the whole zoo, before we finish the whole zoo, it would be nice to have some kind of a bear in our zoo as well. And yeah, I would also love you guys to comment on the video if there is one animal missing in that area, or if there is one animal that you really would love to see in there besides of the bongo that is definitely going to have a habitat in there. So if there is one animal that you think that should definitely be in Arizona Adventure Park and that would fit the area here, close to the monkeys, apes and the Indonesian and the jungle animals, then let me know in the comment section and I would be happy to build a habitat for them. Otherwise there's only going to be, let me count quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more habitats, and then this zoo is going to be finished. There will be a final episode on the zoo where we are going in and fix some things before we finish it, and there's also going to be the very last episode in which we are going to have a tour of the zoo ourselves, and there's also going to be a tour by some different people. One of them is hopefully is going to be the lady designer that is going to do a tour in English language, so for all the international folks that like to watch my videos. And there's also going to be a tour in German from Gaming Betters, of course, that I promised he will get the zoo to do a tour in German. And and then we are going to start something different. Like I said, the franchise episode in our Australian zoo that is going to be built. Here you could see our proboscis monkeys that were escaping the habitat, which I said was very weird. I fixed that with the first viewing area, so I was able to fix that on the first viewing area. Unfortunately, I weren't able to fix that on the second viewing area, so as I said, I had to delete the sunshade. But let's have a look at our animals. This one is going right back into the habitat, which is very nice, so I didn't have to catch him. So he was going back into the habitat all by himself, in a weird kind of way, but yeah, he managed to get back. So I leave you alone with some footage of our animals. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did so, then don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the future episodes on here, and also yeah, leave a comment when you want to tell me which animal we have forgotten in Arizona Adventure Park. Okay guys, so see you next time, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.